from Erode district. Okay, it's just 20 kilometers away, that particular location. And this is the gentleman who formed Milky Mist in 1997. Okay, so this Milky Mist is from proper Tamil Nadu, and it's actually from a village, okay, which is very close to Erode. Next. Alright, now when you look at the history of Milky Mist, you can see that when you look at the era where this particular company started from was somewhere around 1970s, 80s and 1990s. So in this period, milk competition, producing milk. Now milk is a perishable good or is it a non-perishable? It's a perishable good. Can you drink milk which is aged for 100 years as opposed to wine which is aged for 100 years? Wine when it is aged or alcohol when it is aged, it has a longevity as opposed to milk which is perishable in just 2 or 3 days. So those days what happened was their milk was perishing, and because you had so many milk producers, and the biggest was Amul. You know Amul, right? Amul was the business giant, the milk business giant, dairy product business giant in the entire nation that time. Small milk competitors were finding it very difficult to come up with their own brand. Plus, on top of it, it was perishing. So, what did he do? We were going to look at it. So, Mr. Satish, can you go back? He was very obsessed with the desire to make this business a big brand. So, we see how he did that. Next. So now these are some of the products. Now imagine a 17-year-old college school dropout. Okay, he had the idea to build a bigger business, and today his business first bench that you can see is so huge. They're having so many number of products in their particular Milky Mist production. Have you ever tried Milky Mist products? I have tried their curd, and it's actually quite tasty. All right, moving on. Next slide. Now we get into the case study. Now everybody knows Milky Mist, a little bit of history and what problems that he had to face through. Now we're going to see the action problems that the company faced when they had to come up with very good ideas related to Milky Mist. Next. All right. The harsh reality of dairy industry. Remember I said that Amul was the business giant. Yes. See, in every sector you have business giants. Business giants are conglomerates. These people are somebody you cannot smash. But these people are somebody that you can work around with. Okay? So we'll see what did he do. Now what was the problem? Alright. Focus on this particular thing. Business has low margins with profits usually between 3 to 5%. Meaning the fodder and the feed that he was putting for the cattle was being more expensive than the money he was getting from the milk that he sold. Clear? Understood? Vishnu, did you understand? Fodder, milk, returns, everything. Alright. And then another most important thing was cost management. His prices were more. The prices for feeding the cattle was more, but the prices that he was getting, the profit that he was getting was very less. So what did he do? What would you have done in that particular place? What do you think he must have done? What are some of the solutions? If you are in Satish's place, okay, Mr. Satish's place, you're loss, you're going in loss, you're not making profits. What would you have done? Sell off the buffaloes. Okay. Okay. He wants to take an Amul, franchise. Okay. And what else? I'll tell you one very smart thing Mr. Satish did. Really, hats off to this. When I was reading the case, I was blown by this information. Next slide. Next. Solution. We'll see what was the solution. Next. Yeah. The most important thing that Mr. Satish did was, he said, we are just selling milk. Why don't we sell different products of dairy which have long-lasting, commodity, shelf life, longevity. So he came up with that idea. He said, "Chalo yaar, paneer banai, cheese banai. We'll come up with different products like cottage cheese and clarified butter." He came up with that idea. He said, milk, let that steady income be there, but we'll come up also with different products like butter and ghee. Now remember, the cost for making butter and ghee is also quite similar. It is more, but then it's a smart idea. That is something called as, you're bringing new products. You're adding new products to your this is called as product value. Additional product value that you can get. Adding value was one of his key strategies. And slowly, the particular business picked up. Because when you are in a village, okay, especially in a village like Tamil Nadu, which is quite remote village. People wouldn't even know, and then South Indians didn't know what is paneer. Okay, we know butter, we know cheese for that matter, but we never knew what is paneer. So this was a very smart idea. Alright, we'll see what he's done next. Moving on. Now, so by turning milk into ghee and also into different products, slowly the business started picking up. But there were major challenges as well. The second most major hurdle for him was building relationship with dairy farmers. Then Amul used to have this centered, mindset where they would ask the consumers to come and the dairy farmers to sell their milk, and then they would pay them something and khatam, that's all. But then Satish came up with a different idea. First we'll see what is the problem. Next. Alright, go back. So over here, his major problem was consistent quality of milk. See, when does a particular milk product, come up with what do you say? When is the quality of milk fine? Alright, both of you get up from there. Get up. Quickly, get up. Yeah. Because if you want to make ghee and butter and also paneer, you have to have consistent quality of milk that has to come up. So this was one of his major problems. He said that, okay, we have, let's say around approximately, maybe they must have had 5 to 6 buffaloes. Now what? We need more, dairy farmers. So what did he do? What do you think he must have done? What do you think, what would you do in that particular case?
पैसा है तो फिर से buffalo
पैसा है तो और buffaloes खरीदते. Okay, that's a strategy. And
नहीं तो जाके दूसरे से पूछते.
नहीं तो जाके दूसरा मैंने पूछते.
Hormones लगाते हैं.
Hormones लगाते हैं. Okay. You would give them better care so that you give them better fodder. Okay, we'll see what he has done. Coming up. Next. Solution. Next. Yeah, that should do. Okay. The best thing that he did was, unlike Amul. Now Amul didn't believe in building a relationship and establishing a relationship with the particular dairy farmers. Here he said that, Aajao, we will take care of your particular cows, we will link your bank accounts, and we will directly transfer the amount so you know that monthly you are getting payment. We will take care of your cows, buffaloes as well, but we want you to be loyal to us. That's how he gained the loyalty of his dairy farmers, and then he came up and he said that you supply to me, I will take care of all your needs and necessities. See, once, especially in any business, if you gain the loyalty and trust of your stakeholders, nothing like it. And then his business was something where he was getting digital, he started digital ways of paying the particular farmers, and also at the same time he made sure that he was at the same time getting the proper amount of dairy products that he required from them. Okay, consistent quality of milk. Alright, did you guys understand? Yes. So the first problem was not having competition. Second problem was not having relationship with farmers. We look at the third problem. Alright, overcoming distribution challenges. Now see, this is the period when you didn't have internet, no Amazon, no Rapido. This is the period when you had absolutely nothing and your business is booming. How do you expand your business? So we are going to see what were some of the distribution challenges. So another major hurdle that he faced was, first of all, dairy products are perishable. They don't have longevity, no longer shelf life, and also infrastructure. Where do you store? If you are selling paneer need to be freezed or rather refrigerated for a longer period of time. So this was one of the major concerns for him as well. अभी क्या करें? अच्छा पनीर बना लिया, ठीक है, बेच रहे, किधर तक बेचोगे? The shelf life of paneer without refrigeration will be just 2 or 3 days. After that it will spoil because it is made from spoiled milk. Okay. So now what is the solution? What do you think he must have done? क्या करते? When you know that your products are going to have 0 shelf life, okay, and in those days when you have absolutely no internet, adding preservatives. How much will you add preservatives, ma'am? Preservatives you add and you refrigerate it, but how long will you be able to? What do you think he must have done? Okay, preservatives. What do you think he must have done?
Why will they buy preservatives?
Correct, boss. Expansion of business here. But remember, this is a milk business. Okay. How will you expand your business knowing that you have to transport the business from point A to point B? So maybe you want to send it to North India.
Setting up a business in point B also. Like
setting up a business in point B as well. They are discussing about how to make paneer. How you make Shrenita? Okay, we'll see what was the solution. Shrenita, we'll see what was the solution. Okay. All right. Most important thing and a genius plan by Mr. Satish was that he came up with refrigeration challenge. So he started setting up refrigerators in his local shops. so that they will be able to store the products. Now remember, investment ज़्यादा रहता, but returns still came in because people started purchasing, and in order to transport, you have to transport. So it is one-way transportation. Now let's say I want to send it to Haryana, example. So my products are going from Tamil Nadu to Haryana. What after that? They are coming empty-handed back. So what do? So he started setting up, dairy farms over there as well, where he could get the products from there as well. Milk, example, milk, raw material, milk. So this was one of his strategy. He came up with, a lot of refrigerated, or rather I'd say cool-based transportation system, and he also installed GPS technology so they could track where the products are going. So you know where your product is, you know the entire unit, you know what is the efficiency. Yes, investment was there, but there was also returns slowly started coming in. Okay, so slowly he started distributing his products to other states. You must have seen these refrigerators in shops as well.
Yeah.
It was solely donated also at a marginal price given to the shopkeepers to store these products. So isn't that a smart move? Quite genius. Yes, you can use preservatives. I believe all the foods in India use preservatives. But even though they are using preservatives, you need to refrigerate milk products for them to last longer. Okay? Moving on. Another challenge, major expansion challenge. ठीक है भाई, we are making paneer. कौन खरीद रहा paneer? Who is, especially then, South Indians, we had no idea about paneer. Okay? Till date as well. Because Hyderabad is a metropolitan city, cosmopolitan. We are having different cultures and cuisines in our particular city. But if you go to the other cities in Telangana, it may not be so that much, even though. So that can be, one particular problem. So we'll see what was some of the, expansion strategy that took place. Next slide. He reached out to all the southern state 5-star hotels and he told them that why don't you start introducing paneer as one of the dish. You see how smart that move was? He said that nahi hota, aisa to nahi hota. We can't go to house door to door and say that why don't we start making paneer? We'll start incorporating it into restaurants and 5-star hotels so that people start knowing acha ye bhi brand hai. Butter ke jo chote slabs aate na, where you use it. Even Amul does that. In hotels and 5-star places. So 5-star, 3-star, or whatever restaurants. They also started incorporating this expansion strategy. Remember, the returns were coming, but once expansion took place, the returns were more. And then that's how, can you go to the next slide? That's how they built a 2,000 crore business. Today, it's worth 2,000 crore. So when it started to when it is now, these 4 major problems they faced and smart moves and challenges were taken. And that's when he is stable and one of the most competitive bidding brand in this particular country. So you have different, you name it, you have any milk product related item, you have it in this particular nation. So we'll see what are the lessons that we've learned. Lesson number 1, important business lesson. What is that? Especially about innovation, resilience. This is the key. Most of the BBA and BCom students think of becoming entrepreneurs. What is the takeaway? Resilience. If you are determined, I have to do it, I will do it. That is one of the key things that has been, and most importantly, working together with your stakeholders. Keep the dairy farmers happy. Supply them whatever is necessary. Take care of their cattle. They will be loyal to you. Second one. Again, added value products. Not only milk, you make paneer, you make butter, you make other related products so that you have income from different kinds of generations. Many income generation areas. And then resilience again is another important. Profitable business, one of the major strategies being sustainable in the market. He did give up. अरे बंद करके बेच देंगे business. क्या सिंपली why should I take this headache and run my father's business? He didn't give up. He was sustainable. He said, okay, let's try different strategies and angles to do it. And then finally, he defied all odds and he turned a small-scale venture. Just from 2 buffaloes or 2 cows, he made it into a 2 crore dairy business empire. It's almost giving competition to, I won't say almost, it is giving competition to Amul, which is one of the major business giant or rather
Jersey, Heritage.
What?
Other brands.
Yeah, there are other brands as well. Of course, Heritage and then other
Jersey,
different brands. So it's giving competition to all these brands. Alright, did you understand? Yes. So this is an ideal presentation that you can give for your case studies when you select different companies. Okay. Now I showed you different patterns by using different flow charts, pie diagrams, things like that. I didn't use pie diagram, but different essential elements that are there in your PowerPoint presentation. You can use them. You can add pictures. You can make it more interactive as well. Okay, over to this sir, who's going to show you another example of how you can present